make sure we're ready and you feel comfortable in going forward with it. So if you want to go to the board and have a discussion at the full board meeting, I'm fine with that. You have the information, reread it, and go over it a little bit closer. If any more questions at the board, I'd be willing, board meeting, I'd be willing to take them as well. Emails, phone calls, between now and the board meeting.
Thank you. Any other comments from the board? Okay. I guess next up is Mr. Kasprowski.
Thanks.
Talking about the induction plan.
Thank you. Mr. Reinhardt asked me to talk about the new teacher induction program. Just very briefly, teacher induction, all school districts in Pennsylvania are required to have a program of teacher induction, mainly to support new teachers. I'll state the obvious. We haven't had to implement this very frequently in the last several years for obvious reasons, but we do continue to maintain a program. It begins upon the hire of a new teacher. We assign a mentor teacher to that person. That mentor teacher normally is selected by the building principal. It's has to be a tenured teacher, a veteran teacher, and someone who is highly thought of. In all cases, we try to assign mentor teachers that work either in the same grade level, the same department, or the same subject matter for obvious reasons to help that newer teacher. We always begin with 3 days of pre-employment training before all of the teachers come back. The new teachers attend 3 full days of pre-employment training. During that time period, they meet with the administration, get to know people. They receive a tour of the district. They receive an overview of the district. I've driven people around myself. I've gotten a school bus and a bus driver, and we've made the loop around all the sending areas to Easton Area School District. We focus on important safety and instructional issues to get the new teachers up and running for the start of school and to begin the school year successfully. During the year, there's frequent interaction between the teacher inductee and the mentor teachers. They discuss, among other things, curriculum, instruction, assessment practices, school safety issues, and also review school and district policies and procedures. The teacher inductee participates in all professional development activities that are organized by our CPEC committee, our Continuing Professional Education Committee. The teacher inductees complete a detailed log that they do submit at the end of the year that shows the different activities they've completed, and we have certain requirements, certain things that they're required to meet and discuss with the mentor teacher throughout the school year. At the end of the year, both the teacher inductee and the mentor teachers complete an evaluation of the program, which comes to me and other people that need it, and we use that information to continually refine our induction program. I did just want to give you a brief overview. I know this committee meeting is running on an hour, so if anyone has any questions, I'll be happy to answer them.
Thank you very much.
You're welcome. Thank you.
Okay, now it's time for the public to be heard on any academic agenda items. Is there anyone that wants to be heard? Please sign in.
Did that.
You know the drill.
Mr. Reinhardt, I think I can answer your question.
Good, great.
The reason that the charter schools can do it is you send them a lot of money, they write their own IEPs, they get to define their own success criteria, and if it doesn't work, they give the student back to you and you have to fix it anyway. Seriously, the system's stacked against you. A number of years ago, I was sitting in the audience when a young Deputy Attorney General in the Clinton administration and a criminologist by the name of Larry Sherman were discussing things that work and don't work. And their point was the failure of the educational system where it winds up in the penal system, which is where none of us really want to go. And I sort of fell off my chair because here 2 Democrats were actually discussing something that struck home with me. And Larry made the point that, and I think Mr. Ryder, you made the point some time ago, that things that are very popular, we spend a lot of money doing them, called Head Start, which was the word back then, don't work. It's a waste of money. And they went on to list things that did make sense. The young Deputy Attorney General was reappointed by President Obama. Larry Sherman's now at Cambridge, and there are other people writing the same reports that some of this early intervention stuff doesn't work, and there's other things that do work. And I look at the data presented up here about you spent a lot of money with kindergarten full-time in one school and other schools didn't have it, but your results don't stack up. And you had relatively small classes in one school and larger classes in another school, and they don't stack up. So one of the obvious mathematical conclusions is you should be running larger classes rather than smaller classes, because your results couldn't be any worse, they might actually be better. So why don't we experiment by doing it the other way? Try it. You have a limited budget. You got to make it more effective. Now, whether you can run a charter school or not on your own, I don't know. But look at other areas of government. Some municipalities have run sewer authorities and water authorities that they don't own, they don't control, but they really do control. But mathematically, I think you have to look backwards at your equation. You want to send your worst students to where you lower your costs. Because, like it or not, Harrisburg says the charter schools will suck money dry from you depending on how much money you spend. So Philadelphia has gone backwards, and they've reduced their cost per pupil. And that way they're tightening the reins or starving the charters. You got to look at the formulas. You want your low-cost students in Easton, you want your high-cost students for somebody else is doing it at a lower cost than you're doing it, because God gave us the formula from Harrisburg. And I'm not saying it's right or wrong, I'm just saying you got to deal with the cards that you're dealing with, and there's some powerful leverage in those formulas. Thank you.
Thank you. Anybody else? No? Okay. Well, basically, as the summary, Mr. Steckel spoke about the elementary class size update and how it compared Dibbles to the performance, and that it did not correlate to better results, but also talk about the the school readiness dialogue update, and talking about how the preschool partners and the kindergarten teachers are working together to help students get ready for kindergarten. Mrs. Emile spoke about the United Way Community School program at Paxinosa, and it would be 100% supported by United Way and its partners. Mr. Brown spoke about the science fair that's going to be happening on Wednesday the 9th at 7 p.m. And Ms. DeVitro, spoke about the scheduling timelines and the cyber school update. And I believe we're going to have a discussion of the cyber school at the next board meeting. And Mr. Castro-Vinci spoke about the teacher induction plan for first-year students. And that's about it. That was a whole lot of discussion today in the academic committee. And so I guess, do you want to go now to athletics or policy?
Yes, we're going to proceed to athletics. And we'll call up Mr. Gusak.
What I'd like to do first, welcome everyone, is we have a few of our student athletes here this evening to be recognized. I'd like to call them up first. They have a lot of other things going on in their life and in their world. So boys basketball, Eric Oakley was our scholar athlete. Eric probably is not here. He was out playing a baseball game, 3-3 in the fifth inning when I left to come up against Liberty. I'm not sure how he fared. I checked Twitter and not sure. So Eric Oakley was our boys basketball honoree. Girls basketball was Savannah Fainal. She had a work commitment this evening, so she could not attend either. The last four I'll call up, I'll have them say first and last name, give us a little bit about what they accomplished this year, and even if they have their college goal picked out or choice already, I'd like them to mention that. So first, let's have Alyssa Haddock come up, our cheerleading representative. So Alyssa, come on up. And I believe you have a certificate for them afterward
Yes, I
also,
do.
right? Yep.
Hi, thank you for recognizing my achievement. I'm here for cheerleading. Some things that we've accomplished this season as a team is we made it to finals at nationals, which is the first time in 7 years, I believe, and we placed 11th in the country. So that was like the highlight of my season. And for me personally, I was captain, and I was also selected to cheer at the Big 33 Football Classic in Hershey, PA, with Coach Schiffer. So that was like a real honor. So I've had a really successful senior year, and I plan to cheer at the University of Maryland or New York University. Still exciting.
Next, we'll have Kyle Baker come up, wrestling. Kyle?
My name's Kyle Baker. This year we kind of had a rebuilding year, rough year. We had a lot of young kids, a lot of sophomores, a lot of juniors. But this year I got 6 at Reno. I won Mannheim, and I ended up 29-7, I believe. I didn't make it out of district tournament because got hit in the head, got a few stitches, but had a pretty good year.
College plans?
Looking at Penn State and Drexel, so it's pretty much between those two.
Girls swimming, Tara Stoliker. Tara?
Hi, thank you for having me tonight. Again, my name is Tara Stoliker. As a team, we placed 4th at districts as a team. I was a member of both the district champion and the runner-up relays, the medley relay and the freestyle relay. I also placed top 6 in both of my individual events. I was a state qualifier in the 2 relays this year, and we placed 17th in the state out of about 32 teams, I believe. Also personally, I was Express Time Swimmer of the Week the first week of the new year, and that was a proud accomplishment. I plan to swim at Whitman College in Washington, Bates College in Maine, Lehigh University, or Dickinson College in PA. Thank you.
And last but not least, boys swimming, Nate Santos. Nate?
My name is Nate Santos. I was one of the swimmers for the high school swim team. As a team, for the boys, we finished 10-5 for the season, which was a 1-win improvement from last year. In terms of events that I swam, I swam the 50 free, 100 free, 200 free relay, and the 400 free relay. As far as college plans, I'm probably looking at Seton Hall. That's it.
And obviously their parents are here. We'd like to thank them for all their support and what they've done to get their student athletes to where they are. So thank you, Mom and Dad. Thank you. Okay, quickly, I'll go over some of the things. I know you have that in front of you, so I won't read over that. We'll go to the first slide. Just a recap of the winter season. You can see the number of athletes in parentheses after each sport, and you can see how many we had come out. Down at the very bottom, you can see we had about 393 athletes, about 154 cuts, so a total of approximately 550 athletes came out for our teams for the winter. Okay, next slide. After the fall season, we were looking at academics, and that just gives you a quick rundown of the number of athletes that were ineligible on a weekly basis. And when you're looking at the sheer number of roughly 400 athletes, you can see most of them were academically eligible. We had anywhere from 1 to about 9, I believe, was our high for 1 or 2 weeks this year academically. And again, that's based on the number of courses they're taking during the second semester, the main